Yes, hi. Don't worry, I won't make you stay this whole time. I promise. I just want people to see your beautiful face. Look at this handsome face right here. Say hi to the people. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, people. Ah. You want me to put you down? All right. Okay. Ah, here you go. There you go. Go on. Ah, yeah. That was about as much of it as he was gonna put up with. Hey, everybody, how we doing? Goes are my condolences. I heard your wallet got nicked. No, Ms. Wicked Wolf. Archie is across town. He's definitely not here right now. So I hope folks are doing well. A reminder, in case we have anyone outside of the regulars, I will try and keep up with the chat. However, the only thing that will guarantee that I see your comment or question is to do it as a super chat, which will also get you a heart from me, a little heart of appreciation. And I will be pausing about halfway through the stream to check out the Council of Geeks Discord and taking a look at the questions from my Patreon supporters. And we've already got our first super chat. Force Dalek coming in. Much love. Outro means more than you'll ever know. Thank you, Force Dalek. Thank you very much. I'll also warn you right now, I'm gonna have to get up and step away. A couple times I've got something simmering on the stove that I just need to be sure is doing okay. It'll be for short amounts. No, Ms. Wicked Wolf, I have not. I do not know if I am going to. I have no time. Do you know Shooty has been told to be more masculine for the role? Citation needed, Roger. Show me where that was said officially. Then I'll have an opinion on it. I will not have one without it. Not on something like that. What's out on my necklace? I forget what kind of stone that is. I should remember. Food, Ms. Wicked Wolf. I am cooking food. Do you have thoughts on Dropout closing its Discord for chat, not just due to moderation, but also because they're becoming increasingly uncomfortable with the studio controlling the fan space? Huh. I mean, that makes some sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It strikes me as a slightly odd decision to turn the official supporter Discord server just into a generic fan server by taking your hands off the reins. Because, like, if there wanted to be a strictly fan space, there's things like Reddit for that. And, like, literally anyone could start up just a fan server. I don't know. Strikes me as a slightly odd decision. Maybe if I knew more about the context, I could follow it. Twilord, thank you very much for the super chat. About that potential review commission, it's been delayed because the podcast demonstration was delayed because one of the hosts had life happen. Life, indeed, is a thing that happens. So I have been told. First stream I'm managing to catch. Hope you're doing well. Any personal hopes for the new season of Doctor Who? I would personally love the Trickster to come back with the Pantheon. I don't have a ton of affection for the Trickster, but I also, I never really got that much into the Sarah Jane Adventures. I think the simple fact is I was too old. It's always weird for me when people look at episodes of Doctor Who, like Space Babies, for example, it's like they made it for kids. No, Sarah Jane Adventures is when they make Doctor Who for kids. And it is decidedly different. At least it is to me. And I don't know. I'm not saying the Trickster's a bad character. I just never got into the show and never really got into that. I did a video actually last week. 2 weeks ago. I did a video talking about my overall hopes. I don't have anything that specific about specific characters coming back or anything like that. I generally don't put those kinds of hopes on things most of the time. You should watch Challengers. I have no clue what that is. Thunderwear. Love the name. Love your channel. Doctor Who's my favorite show. I love your reviews. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Could you explain why you don't want Susan to come back? I think it mainly comes down to I don't have a lot of faith that there is literally anything you can do with her that would be worth the wait. And this is also one of the, so super quick, this is also one of the things that I think I actually have a very specific image in my mind of what I would like to see done if she ever did come back. And I've said this other places, so I'll make it quick. In my mind, if Susan comes back, it should be in literally the last episode of Doctor Who that ever airs. And it should be the Doctor, whoever the Doctor is at the time, returning back to Susan on that planet, fulfilling the promise of the first Doctor. One day, I will come back, and that's where you end the show. I don't mean hiatus. I mean, like, we're done. And I just have a hard time imagining what there is you can do with Susan that is worth a wait this long. And that having been said, I'm open to being wrong about that. I also thought it was a terrible idea to bring back David Tennant to be the 14th Doctor. I ended up really liking that. I fully admit there are times where I'm like, I don't see how that can be worth it. Where sometimes writers, creators, whatever, will just do better than I can think of or that I think is possible. It's nice when it happens. I don't expect it, though. What do I think of 15 Sonic? It's fine. It's fine. I don't really get what people's issue with it is. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's fine to be like, I like the old aesthetic, just like you could say that about literally any Sonic. I don't like the design of the Sonic, but like, it doesn't look like a screwdriver. None of them look like a screwdriver. Not really. I don't know. It's a weird hang up for some people. And like, I'm not trying to mock the hang up. If it's something that gets on your nerves, cool. I don't get it though. Wasn't Doctor Who for kids originally anyway? Yeah, but like, try telling that to the fan base. Hey there, Dharma. Supremely stoked to be a snazzy supporter. Thank you very much for the continued membership. Can I do a cross-eyed face? I can. I will not. I am not a trained monkey. So, why do some people want Susan not to be a time lady? I don't know. I saw that in the comment section. Like, people started splitting hairs about whether or not Susan counts as a Time Lord, which was completely irrelevant to the point I was making, because whether or not she's considered a Time Lord or a Gallifreyan is irrelevant to the fact that the Doctor brought her up specifically to say she's probably dead, which was my issue, or at least part of my issue, because the other issue being that this is a setup to bring her back, which I don't really want them to do. Why are people splitting hairs over that? I don't know. Some people get hung up on that kind of lore stuff. I generally don't, especially when it is irrelevant in context. Give me a second. I got to check the stove. Be right back. How we doing? All right. That's getting better. That's going to need just a little more time. Shouldn't be too much longer. I had hoped to have the cooking done before the stream started, but I added more water to what I was making than I should have, so it's taking longer to simmer off. Think the Mooninites from Aqua Teen Hunger Force are one of the stupidest, funniest antagonists made. I like the Mooninites. And yes, probably. Oh, God. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I have not thought about that show for so long. Have you seen Robots of Death? Nope. That one I have not seen yet. Did you ever watch Family Matters? A little when I was younger, not much. I'm a third way through the final season of Twilight Zone. Just watched the episode where a guy commits a hit and run and gets haunted by his car. I'm not sure I've seen that one, Rowan. I've seen a decent amount of Twilight Zone, but kind of like Classic Who, since they're largely self-contained. Well, no, Classic Who is largely self-contained. Twilight Zone is completely self-contained. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm not going from start to finish. So I haven't seen that one. No, I mean, I've seen some people want her not to really be the Doctor's blood relative. Oh. No, I haven't seen that 255, and I don't know what that's about. Thoughts on Kate Stewart? I personally wish we'd see her come in and butt heads with the Doc like her dear old dad. They didn't actually butt heads all that often, though. Like, they did on occasion, and they have done that a couple of times, like on issues like the Zygons. I don't know. I feel like they have done that. Kate Stewart is a character who I think if she was going to have the kind of resonance that the Brig did, she needs to appear as often as the Brig did. But they're not going to do that. What our time period is Doctor Who hasn't done yet you would like to see? Again, Loris, it's kind of that's kind of the area of speculative that I don't do. My brain doesn't work like that. All right. Well, maybe we'll move it up the list, Caroline, and get to that one. I don't know. Moffat described his episode next week as being his darkest episode ever. Yeah, I saw that. I will make predictions right now. I expect it will be very good, and I expect there will be a contingent of people immediately shouting that Moffat should take over the show running, and I can almost guarantee you these are the same people who bitched and moaned when he was running the show. So, Doctor Who fandom has the worst memory of any fandom that I can think of. Like, there are only so many things that you can compare Doctor Who fandom to in terms of stuff that's run this long. I think the main thing you can safely compare it to would either be something like Star Trek, maybe, or comic book superheroes, some of the longer running ones. And the thing is, even those, I'm not going to say it never happens, but I feel like Doctor Who, it happens way, way, way more. This sort of rewriting of history of the show, of what it did or didn't do, or what it was or wasn't like. And they just pretend it was something else at various points, whether they are rewriting it to be like, oh, that was never so bad, or like, oh, that was awful, when like people liked it even at the time, or like acting like it was an era was beloved when there were tons of bitching fans, just like there are now and always will be. Doctor Who fandom has a horrible memory, real bad. Like, even with comic book fans, you'll get a ton of arguments over which writers for which characters are the best, which eras are the best, whatever. But they usually aren't in a ton of denial about what each of those was. It's just an argument of preferences. It's so weird. How do you feel about them doing another companion who's also a Time Lord? I don't know. I have a hard time thinking about that, because we're currently in the frickin' I'm the last of the Time Lords thing again. Like, while I am having fun for the most part, there are so many repeated beats already. 2 episodes in, I am honestly feeling pretty validated about my concerns that he was just going to slip right back into doing this like it was 2005 again. Because I think that's exactly what he's done. And oddly, while I'm not thrilled about that, I'm not nearly as ticked off as a lot of people are. And I think part of that is because I kind of already, it's a little bit like happened with Jodie Whittaker. I initially was skeptical about her casting, and I kind of but like, I wasn't as completely thrown off as everybody else, because I'd processed the idea of the Doctor, of a woman being cast as the Doctor, a couple of years before, because I knew it was going to happen eventually, and I processed most of my feelings then. So when it actually happened, I was way further along the journey of acceptance, keeping in mind that I thought I was cis for a chunk of that time. I think similarly right now, like I'm not thrilled that RTD is very much just slipping right back into what he always used to do. Well, no, not always, but like this whole season so far feels very series 1 of Doctor Who, for better and worse. But the thing is that because I kind of came to terms with that like a month ago, or actually like a couple of months ago, then when it's happening, while I don't necessarily like that it's happening, I'm also like, yeah, no, I figured that was going to happen. And that's why it's so weird when I'm seeing people be like, RTD has gotten worse. I'm like, this is so much like Rose and so much like World War III and so much like Love and Monsters. No, he hasn't. Your rose-colored glasses have removed your ability to remember what it used to be like. So while I'm a little bit disappointed that he is slipping back into old habits, I'm certainly not going to pretend this isn't what he used to do before, because it is. Weirdly, I recently saw someone claim the Brig was a confirmed bachelor. My thought was Doris and Kate would be surprised to hear that. Yeah, they would. What do you think about the Star Trek reference in Space Babies? Doctor Who's done that intermittently. There was acknowledgement of the idea that Arthur Dent was a real person way back in the Christmas Invasion, connecting it to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Granted, this is theoretically a bigger thing with Star Trek, and honestly, I'm taking that line as a joke because that makes literally no sense. Like the Arthur Dent thing, you could make that connection. That could make sense. Maybe. But the Star Trek thing makes no sense. So I take it as a joke. I'm certain that in about a decade's time, people will do revisionism on Chibnall's run and call it a golden era. Some people will. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the whole Last of the Time Lord shtick is a bit repetitive again. However, I can't really pin that on RTD since it was Chibnall's bright idea to pointlessly destroy Gallifrey. You can pin it on him, though. Because, as I noted, like, all we saw in Chibnall's episode was the destruction of the capital city, and subsequently the setting off of a bomb that would have killed anything still off the planet. But that doesn't preclude some Time Lords from having gotten off the planet, either before, during, or after the Master did most of his damage. But the Doctor saying, I'm the last of the Time Lords again, that is a confirmation that RTD put in. It was implied in Chibnall. It was not confirmed. So actually, yeah, you can pin it on RTD. He did not have to take it to that degree. I even mentioned that in my review, that there's no reason that this couldn't be a case of like, maybe there's some out there scattered to the winds. I wouldn't know how to find them though, because we can't all come back to our home, which is how we normally find each other. You could do something like that, but he didn't. He went right back to Last of the Time Lords again. Favorite Doctor Who episode? Classic era, it's City of Death. Modern, it's probably The Doctor Falls. Poppy Williams, by the way, super chat. How do you feel about the Moffat upcoming episode? Also, I really love and appreciate your reviews. Always a highlight after watching an episode. I mean, I've already expressed my frustration with the fact that Moffat is back, because it's just all of this stuff from before. It's just, and I'm really not happy that Murray Gold's back. Like, at this point, I'm actively annoyed by that fact. I'm so sick of his bombast. And I don't think he's produced an especially memorable piece of music for this new run yet. He's produced some perfectly serviceable work, but like, he has not hit a banger yet. And the new Doctor theme is not growing on me as much as I'd hoped that it would. But as far as like, other than my general annoyance, the fact that Moffat is back to write an episode under RTD, which is just more of we did this already. Setting that aside, because I already talked about that. I'll have an opinion when I see it. That's kind of all I've got. Coyote Azul, thank you very much for the super chat. Ever think they'll make a Western/US equivalent of Mobile Suit Gundam read a good live-action mecha show? No, because Pacific Rim barely made its money back. If that thing had been a huge hit, you bet your ass. But the thing is, that was big, that was expensive, that was something that hit well with critics, and fans and people who saw it seemed to like it, but it didn't make nearly as much money for how much it cost. So no, I don't think so. It's too expensive. Twilord back again. Let's see here. Wahoo! I don't know why I did that as Mario. Not really into Doctor Who, but Regeneration just solved a coding problem for me. My Digimon reincarnation system was giving me hell for hours. Thanks. No problem, Twilord. Give me a second. I gotta check my food again real quick. All right. That is just about done. Not quite, but just about. Sci-fi fans of old got too caught up in the whiz-bang pop of the genre and never caught the themes and other aspects. Now they're caught off guard by their reintroductions. I'm not... like, for people who fell in love with sci-fi when they were young, yeah, that's some of them. Honestly, though, a lot of the people who complain the loudest, it's not sincere. It's pretty disingenuous. We're in an age where it's very difficult to parse the good faith criticisms from the bad faith ones, which is a sad state of affairs. Media literacy is dead, etc., etc., etc. What's the chance we see Maestro again this season? Personally, I hope zip. If you didn't see my review, while I appreciate what the Maestro was and what the performance was going for, and that Jinx Monsoon nailed what was asked, I didn't enjoy it, especially. So I don't really want to see the Maestro again. Definitely not in the same season. The whole I'm the last of the Time Lord thing is just the Doctor's POV. He hasn't been any survivors even during the flux. I mean, I don't want to get bogged down in the minutia of whether or not the title of Last of the Time Lords is accurate. It's just him slipping back into that headspace of oh, I'm the last of my kind. Yeah, we did this already. Since she was mentioned in the Devil's Court, I'm hoping we see Trudy in the season. Mainly saying I like that because I like Mary Malone in The Prince. Yeah, I am hoping so too. I think I heard that she was gonna come back. But I don't know. The Futurama audio commentaries, a couple of writers have back and forth about if the entity Bender encounters in deep space is really God. Matt Groening is like, I just took it as a joke in the cartoon. That's what I think about with that Star Trek reference. Fine, fair enough. Sorry for that seemingly off-topic stuff about me. Not much of a Doctor Who fan myself. Have watched episodes of the old and new series. That's fine, Coyote. Don't worry about that. I mean, like, I put Doctor Who up as the topic, not as a restriction. We can talk about whatever. It's just I figured that would probably be the general topic. So don't worry about it. Having seen his direction in All of Us Strangers, I think Andrew Haig would be a great choice to direct some episodes of Doctor Who. I am not familiar with that person or that thing. I don't know if that's a movie or a show or what that is. So, no opinion. Thunderwear, back again. Thinking of watching Classic Who, what are your thoughts? Is it worth watching all the seasons? Unless you are the kind of a completionist where it's going to bother you if you don't watch everything in order, because I know some people are. Unless that's the case, don't go chronologically. Like, honestly, jump around. Like, look up what are generally accepted to be really good episodes of each Doctor. Do a sampling of each of them, and then start diving more into the ones that really hit with you, so that you can get in the mindset of the classic era, and then eventually you'll get around to all of it. That's my take, anyways. Then again, I'm biased because that's how I'm doing it. The Pup. Cute name. Since we're talking doctors, I just became a doctor, an animal doctor, that is, a veterinarian. I wonder if there's a Time Lord called the Veterinarian. I wonder if the Doctor gets a little bit on a high horse about it. I bet you the Doctor had also kind of lured it over if there's a Gallifreyan called the Dentist. Is the Master also not a Time Lord? Did I miss that? She died. So, like, the Master, last we knew, was sealed in that gold tooth, which was taken away. So the Master, so far as we are currently aware, does not have physical form, but will obviously return at some point. Geki, thank you very much for the super chat. I just got back into Doctor Who, really enjoying Ncuti Gatwa. Last year I came out as trans, hoping to get involved more with the LGBTQIA plus community. Congratulations on coming out, and we are very happy to have you. Any thoughts on Susan Twist appearing in every episode since Church on Ruby Road alongside Wild Blue Yonder? Nope. I have no opinion on that. Probably, like, I've seen it pointed out. I honestly think it would be hilarious if she's not anything, but RTD is just messing with the fans, taking a woman whose last name is Twist and making her an unimportant background character who has no attention drawn to her whatsoever, and just lets the fandom go crazy. I'm not usually on the side of creators who bait fans, but that kind of thing, actually, I think that would be funny. Just want to give a quick appreciation for how respectfully you talk about the episodes, even if you don't like everything about it. It's making reviews very fun to watch. Thank you, San Blue. Thank you. Like, unless I think something is like legitimately awful or harmful, I'll usually try and make a fair number of allowances. Like, if you're going to defend the ending of Idiot's Lantern to me, we're going to have to step outside, and somebody's going to have to pull us apart, because, but as long as it's not that, I will try and find the good in it. But yeah, there are times that I will go off because I'm just like, why? But like, my problems with something like The Devil's Court or Space Babies are not at a why level. It's at a, oh, okay, so you did that. You did that fine, not my thing, but you did it fine. And so as long as RTD doesn't really go off the rails, it'll probably be at that level for the most part. I'm going to check my food one more time. Yeah, that'll be okay. It's off the stove now, so I don't have to keep getting up and checking it. The problems with that episode are more a matter of taste rather than message like Kerblam. Oh, yeah, Kerblam. Oh, that was a hard one to go back to because I kind of liked Kerblam the first time I saw it because I really liked its energy. I liked its feel. I liked its atmosphere. I liked the general tone that it was going for because it was a rollicking adventure of an episode, and I liked the setting, and I thought it was visually well represented. And then I thought about it more, and then I did my rewatch of it, and I was like, oh my God, what a mess! What a mess! Unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc. Sue Culture are predicting that Susan Twist will literally be that Susan Twist is Susan. Yeah. Who Culture? Yeah. I don't watch a lot of those channels just because, like, I'm not gonna say they never do good stuff, and like I kind of know some of the people who work on some of them, and like they're good folks, but like I look at some of the stuff they put out, and I'm like, really? Okay. Like, I look at something like Who Culture, and it is an immediate reminder to me of why I do not talk only about Doctor Who. Because I'm like, if I had to put out regular content and I talked about nothing else, that's the kind of stuff I'd have to start doing. Boy, am I glad I talk about other stuff, so I don't have to do that. Unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc. Twilord, back again. Can suicidal Time Lords choose whether to annihilate their personality memory like Digimon? Sort of, insofar as a regeneration is to some degree a personality reset. It's not a memory reset. They're stuck with the memories. But a regeneration can be a personality, or at least a personality shift. It's rare that you're going to get a complete and total rewrite, but different aspects will be emphasized, and they may result in one incarnation of a character making very different decisions from another one. So, did you ever watch ABC's TGIF lineup? No, Ms. Wicked Wolf, I really didn't. I feel guilty because I glanced at female jogger a few times in a row during a walk, and she gave me an uncomfortable look back. You just have to be careful about not, gawking. It's if you tend to zone out mentally, you can suddenly realize you're doing it. I've had that happen, and it's embarrassing as hell, and I feel like an ass. I remember something that I realized in college. Because I've mentioned before, my eyes are usually drawn to mouths, and that's usually true, but they're also frequently drawn just to shiny things. So I realized in college I had to be consciously aware of not letting my eyes get drawn to like necklaces and stuff that women were wearing, because it looks like I'm staring at their freaking cleavage. And technically I'm not, but that doesn't change the discomfort that it results in for them. So it was something I had to work on regardless. You could instead go to Who Corner to Corner route and do more interview-based content. I'd have to have context to be able to do more interview-based context. What's worse, the Idiot's Lantern ending or the sex alien from Torture? Idiot's Lantern. Idiot's Lantern's ending is the worst thing Doctor Who has ever done. Period. End of story. There's plenty of other bad Doctor Who stuff. There's plenty of other Doctor Who related and spin-off stuff. That is very bad, including the Sex Mist from Torchwood. But nothing is as bad as that ending. That ending isn't just bad, it is harmful, it is damaging, it is insidious, and it is morally abhorrent. So, literally nothing else Doctor Who has ever done that I have ever encountered, read, or heard about will ever be, or has ever been, as bad as the ending of the Idiot's Lantern. 255. I've got someone who reminds me of the Discord, so you don't worry about it. I did see it from Carowin. I was gonna get there. I was just trying to catch up first, so not. I appreciate that you were trying to help. Not your job. I've got somebody on that. Anyways, let's see. Discord. A reminder: the Council of Geeks Discord is a Patreon exclusive perk, and unfortunately, I'm also going to have to note There are some questions in the Discord I will not be addressing because one of the rules is the questions need to be in before the stream started. Some of them came in after. I will not be addressing those on stream. Have you heard Nemo's The Code, the NB album that won Eurovision last weekend from Switzerland? No, I do not follow Eurovision in any way, shape, or form. So no, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about beyond what context I can glean from that question. Somebody else is also bringing up Eurovision, so I have no thoughts. Which is better, to be loved or to be feared? I don't think you should have a universal dynamic with all people. Some people should fear me. Some people, I hope, would love me. It is very, very contextual. One of the things I love about your content is how if you don't like a thing, you go out of your way to be gracious and say that it's awesome if others like it, like you did with the Maestro and the Devil's Chord. Is this how you've always been, or is this something you've learned from experience? This is a learned thing. I think when I was younger, like many eager fans and opinionated neurodivergents, I would go a little hard on my opinions. And I think over time, when you start, finding out that people who you know and respect also don't share your opinion, but the way that you talk about your opinion makes them feel like you don't respect them or that you don't respect the things that they like or their views, that it's time to dial back. So that was learned. That was something I had to work on. Does it ever get tiring being beautiful, valid, loved, and awesome? Not yet. I'll keep you posted. I saw an Am I the Asshole post. Oh, God, I hate that. I hate that Reddit. Anyways, saw an Am I the Asshole post today. I strongly suspect is BS. And one of a couple of reasons why is the woman who posted it says she's married to a trans man. Her parents don't know he's trans. Do you think it would be practically possible to keep a secret from a close family member like that for the rest of their life? Like, presumably, they're eventually going to notice weird stuff that's hard to explain without telling them. Like, for example, I bet they'll eventually notice they've never seen a picture of this guy as a kid. No, it is absolutely possible. It depends on the level of closeness between the woman and her family, like how much they hang out, how much they actually interact with each other. But is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. I was married for 12 years. I don't think that any of my in-laws ever saw images of me as a kid. Why would they? Unless you are a super close family, there isn't necessarily a reason for them to see that. Now, it's the kind of thing that once they find out somebody is trans, they might go, oh, and that's the kind of thing you'll realize is a hint after the fact. But unless somebody is like the transvestigator type, then no. And especially with trans men, because as a rule of thumb, it's not universal, but in my experience, trans men who have been on testosterone for a while, on average, are far more likely to pass for cis than trans women are. So that's actually quite believable. I've been thinking about the man or bear discourse. I wonder if maybe a better thing to ask women to get across the point is, how often do you feel scared by a strange man? Like that would avoid all point missing debates about which is objectively more dangerous. No. Like, the fact that people are having side debates over the answer to the would you rather run into a man or a bear in the woods, the fact that people are even having the side debates is part of the conversation. The fact that they're missing the point actually proves the point in many, many, many cases. And besides the fact, tailoring the answer to spare the feelings of people who should be taking a lesson from something, I don't know. Seems like priorities are slightly misaligned in a case like that. I think that was it blown up into like weird meme status? Yeah. Do I have a problem with that conversation having happened? No. Hopefully some guys got it. Because I know I saw it on TikTok. It might have been passed around elsewhere. There was a TikTok I saw that woke up a lot of guys. Like, not a ton. There's still obviously a ton of problematic guys. But there was an analogy I saw where a guy made a comparison to, like, okay, you need to realize that for women, men are like a gun. Any man could hurt them, and they can't tell on a glance what's loaded and what isn't. And for some guys, you could see it in the comments that clicked and they went, oh, crap. So I'm hoping that the man bear thing made at least some guys go, oh, whoa. And like woke some folks up. Did it tick some other people off? Yeah. Mostly assholes who were going to be ticked off no matter how you made the point. Earlier today, I got shortchanged at my local chip shop. Do you think, as a leftist, it's okay to complain about stuff like that to service workers? Like, I'm sure the woman at the chip shop had to deal with angry, complaining customers all the time. I'd rather not add to that just for a small amount of money. As long as you're not angry about it, no, that's not a problem. Just go, this isn't the right amount of change, and they'll fix it, and they'll move on with your day. You're not contributing to the pile of angry, complaining customers unless you yourself are angry. I've read from many leftists that white privilege is conditional. Violate these conditions and you are othered very quick by those in charge, no matter how white you are. Does that sound like a valid observation? No. What? First of all, I've never heard that. Second of all, no. Holy crap, no. All right, okay. I think I understand what people saying that mean, but that is a complete misunderstanding of white privilege. So they're saying that, like, okay, you have white privilege, but if you start attending Black Lives Matter rallies, or you come out as trans, or you're disabled, or like these other things, like your privileges get revoked and you get othered. Like, you will get othered, but that doesn't mean your privileges are gone. They're not giving you as much because you have lost some other things, but white privilege does not go away. And I have a very simple metric from that. I get a lot of shit for being trans. I just do. But I know to a certainty and a fact that I would get it much more, much louder, and much more viciously if I was not also white. Have I been othered by people who wield white privilege as a weapon? You bet your ass I have. But I know for a certainty that I would be getting hit so much harder from so many more directions and so much worse if I was black, or if I was Hispanic, or if I was Asian, or if I was anything other than white. So whoever is saying that, no. Just no. That is just such a fundamental misunderstanding of what white privilege is. Are there characters you can empathize with but not sympathize with? The most obvious coming to mind are Tony Soprano, Walter White. You can, to a degree, get where they're coming from, the tragedy of their environment and circumstances, but ultimately you realize they've dug their own graves of their own free will. Yeah, sure. I can't come up with any additional examples off the top of my head, but yeah, that's a thing. Worst special effects you've ever seen in media. Did you cringe, laugh, or both? Okay. Because I'm really bad at coming up with this stuff off the top of my head, the first thing that's coming to mind is not the worst special effects I ever saw, but it was an instance of special effects that surprised me. Like, I was shocked at how bad this effect was from this movie. Now, I know a lot of people complain about how bad a lot of effects in major motion pictures, especially Marvel stuff lately, has been. But the one that really jumped out at me was the first Wonder Woman movie. During the early stuff, when Diana's a kid, there is a scene where I think she's jumping down from a high place or something like that. They have this kid with this horribly composited green screen behind her. It is sci-fi original movies levels of bad green screen. And it was not the worst special effects I probably saw even just that year. I was just shocked at what movie I saw it in and how it's just a green screen composite. How is it that bad? And I was just shocked. I was just stunned. That's the one that's coming off the top of my head. Why do you think the Doctor Who team spent all this time beautifully animating dinosaurs and space babies just to waste them on a cheap gag? Do you think time and money would have been better spent on improving baby talking effects? Or would you rather see more done with the dinosaurs? I mean, like I said in my review, the baby talking effect is never good, even when it's seamless. I will grant it's not seamless in that, but like it could be the most perfect version of that ever. I still would have hated it. So honestly, I don't have a problem with them allocating resources to get us dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs. I like them a heck of a lot more than the babies. Do I wish more was done with the dinosaurs? No, that wasn't the story. So What do you think about Sam Twist's mystery box being used in every episode? Does it being done with less subtlety make the mystery box format more or less problematic in your eyes? First of all, I would actually say that the Susan Twist thing is being done with a high degree of subtlety. I didn't know about it until people pointed it out. Now, granted, that's partially because I don't know her. I don't know her as an actress, so I didn't recognize her. But I can tell you that the different characters she's played, none of them have had heavy emphasis drawn to them in a look at her way. And she's looked pretty substantially different in each one. So if this is a mystery box, I would call it one of the most subtle ones RTD has ever done. The only reason I know is because people have talked about it. Now, granted, also, I don't know who she is. Maybe she's famous enough in the UK that it was not subtle. I don't know. What's one companion you like to see with a different doctor than they've been with previously, and which doctor would you like to see them paired with? I hate getting these kinds of questions, not because they're bad questions, they're great questions, but they're the kind of questions I'd have to sit and think about for like 10 minutes, and I don't have that kind of time. I don't know. I kind of would have liked to see how much of the 12th Doctor Donna could put up with before she smacked him. I don't know. That's all I've got. I don't think you mentioned in the review, other than being glad that it's not just John, but what's your take on the key to banishing Maestro being genius, aka pulling the Shakespeare Code solution, but with the right notes instead of words? I don't love it, but it's a general trope. It's this overpraise of this like innate talent that people have. Somebody actually brought it up in a comment, noting how it reinforces this idea of innate talent over practice and working your craft and just getting good that way. And like, it's not great. I don't love it, but it's so freaking standard. Not even in just Doctor Who, just in media in general. It's like white noise to me. It's like mildly annoying white noise to me at this point. I don't like it, but it's so standard I can't even get worked up about it because I'd have to get worked up about it in so many places. I agree with your take on Maestro. How might you have constructed a character that was meant to be the embodiment of music? Well, have them actually sing a bit more, for one thing. Like, it's shocking to me that the Maestro is the embodiment of music and doesn't get a proper musical number. That strikes me as odd still. Now, somebody mentioned in the comments, and I don't know if this is true. If it is true, though, I feel really bad for Jinx Monsoon. Apparently, somebody said in some behind-the-scenes thing, Jinx said that they gave a different read like for every take. And if that's true, and the editors assembled together these takes where it's just at 11 all the time and it's maximum camp high drag, then I'm annoyed with the editing. I'm annoyed with the creators that like you had the option to bring more layers to this and you didn't. Or at least maybe you did. Depends on what was given. You can say every episode or every take was different, but the variance might not be as much as it is in the actor's mind. I'm sure I've done that. How many mystery boxes / mysteries are too many? I count at least 4 so far. Ruby's origin, who, what, the one who waits is, the recurring woman, Mrs. Flood, potentially the fourth wall breaks. There's just a lot. It's too many. I don't know. Given that I already don't love the mystery box style of storytelling, the fact that we've got this many loaded up, I'll tell you this, I'm really glad I'm not the speculative type, because as much as I am sick of this format, I don't feel compelled to try and figure them out. I'm just like, fine, we'll see where this goes. Okay, I am now back in the main chat. We have got new super chats to do, so let me catch up on those first. Twilord back again. Fun lore thing. The Doctor is worse at controlling his regeneration, right? So now it's arguably they're the only one doing it naturally. Whether or not the Doctor is worse at controlling the regeneration is actually up for debate. That was fan canon for a long time, basically to explain the anomalous regeneration for Romana, where she seemed to have 100% complete control over what body she took. And when we saw the Doctor regenerate, that was very much not the case. He had no control. Or she, in in that one case and didn't know who they were going to become. So it was fan canon that the Doctor might actually just be bad at it, worse than other Time Lords. The thing is, there really is nothing that's backed up that idea other than that one regeneration of Mary Tam into Lala Ward. That's really the only time that Time Lord has been shown to have that degree of control. So right now, she's the anomaly, not the Doctor. Jen McMahon. My last name, McMahon, literally means son of a bear. Love it. I love that for you, Jen. That's fantastic. I saw the final reveal as to why the Agatha series has kept changing its title. Bloody Well Played, Marvel. Oh, I'm assuming like they're gonna have, I don't know, a different title for every episode or whatever. Like, I have so little interest in that show. Like, honestly, sincerely, them making a show about Agatha Harkness has the ring of Sony re-releasing Morbius to the theater. You took a meme and you're like, people want this, right? I love Catherine Hahn, but I'll check it out when it comes out, but I have very low expectations for that thing. Tailoring the answer to spare the feelings of people who should be taking a lesson from seems like a priority misaligned. If the point is to help men understand, I don't get that. No, I don't think the point of the question being asked in the first place was to get men to understand. It was to gauge how women felt. And once it went viral, hopefully that would be a teaching moment. I don't think it started as one. Then again, I don't know. Like, it's a meme. It was a divisive meme. I don't care that much. I don't want to argue. Maybe I'm missing the point of the original thought experiment. I don't want to argue either. 255. Like, I don't have deep thoughts on the bear thing. Would you like to see a more serious master? The last few have been very zany. I think you could argue that none of the masters have been that serious. The most serious they've had is probably Delgado. But even he was very much a mustache-twirling villain. The Master has never been a serious character. If you want a serious Master, you can listen to the War Master on Big Finish, which is great, but I'm not necessarily sure I would want to see in the show because the War Master stuff by Big Finish is phenomenal. It's dark, though. It's heavy, and in a way that I'm not sure I want to see translated to the main show. Now, the final title is Agatha All Along. Oh. They said the meme. Woo. Coyote Azul. You said Escaflowne is one of your favorite Isekai series. Any other you've read or seen? Not that stuck in my head, really. Is Maestro a Doctor Who thing? Yes. At the moment, it is Meg. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Yes, the latest episode of Doctor Who had a villain called the Maestro, played by drag queen Jinx Monsoon. Some people liked it very much. I wish I did. Have you ever been to Coachella or VidCon? Ms. Wicked Wolf, you know I haven't. You know I haven't been to anything like that. All right. The Spy Master is parallel, and the Doctor's Master died at Missy. No, I don't think so. I mean, like, it's possible. It is still possible. Technically, we don't know where Dewan's Master fits because we didn't see that regeneration. It is distinctly possible that he happens between Sim Master and Missy. But, like, I've come to terms enough with with Dewan's portrayal, particularly the self-loathing aspect. Like, he's deeply, deeply self-loathing, and I think that actually can work and can fit with coming after Missy, like being someone who slipped back into their worst habits. That can cause a lot of self-loathing, and he had it in spades. Have I been reading or keeping up with current comics? No. I catch wind every now and then of some of the stuff going on and usually roll my eyes very heavily because, oh God. Time to start wrapping it up, Vera. Yes, thank you, Carolyn. I do have a hard stop today, folks. I have stuff going on this evening, so I won't be able to go overtime. I just like Jinx, but Maestro is a cool name. Said as a music person. Yeah, I don't know Jinx's work outside of this appearance on Doctor Who, so I can't speak to that. The main reason I thought that Reddit post was fake is the parents scheduled them an appointment with a fertility clinic without permission, which pretty sure that's illegal in the UK. I mean, depends on whether or not those people were located in the UK. In the US, you could probably call up a place and say, I'm scheduling it on behalf of somebody else. You're probably not supposed to, but like, you could get away with that in the US. Elijah Anderson, thank you very much for the super chat. I know nothing about Doctor Who, so I'll just say, have a great day. Thank you. Your video on Snyder's Watchmen was great, and I say that as a fan of the film. Oh, thank you, Elijah. That is one of the videos that I'm proudest of, to be completely honest. I'm really, really proud of that one. The pun I came up with for the moment of John and Paul saving the day was Deus Ex Machina. Get it? Because Macha is Paul's nickname. I actually didn't know that, so I would not have gotten it. It's possible Sacha Dhawan was before Delgado. Delgado was the 13th regent of the Master. He had to steal Tremas, the father of Nissa. Like, yeah, that's technically possible. I think it gets a little weird and wonky doing it that way. The assumption I'd always made is like the Master just burned through Regenerations pulling ridiculous schemes. But like, that's technically possible. Again, like, it doesn't matter to me that much, because at this point I have a read on Dhawan's Master that puts me at peace with the idea that he comes after Missy. So if that, no matter where he lands, like, okay. So like, I don't have a big investment in the conversation, because I'm like, I'll be fine regardless. Am I looking forward to a more serious tone episode with Shooty and Millie? I really want to see them show off their dramatic chops. I mean, I expect we're getting that next episode. So yeah, we'll see what we get. Are you aware of Stop the Boats in the UK? That's what the Shores line was about in Space Babies. I am now, old web shooter. I wasn't at the time I shot that review. People brought it up in the comments, though. So, yes, I am now aware. It was the UK also because of my mental health issues. I know how this works. My mother regularly arranges medical stuff for me, but I have to sign off. Like, again, like, there might have been other reasons for you to think it was fake. Like, most of the stuff on Am I the Asshole is fake. That's part of why I hate that subreddit. But like, the reasons that you specifically gave in the question for why you think it was fake, for me, aren't reasons to think that. I don't doubt that there are other reasons. I'm not even saying that it probably isn't fake. It probably is. Most of them are. Cute dress. Thank you, Meg. I just want to say I really love your top. Oh, thank you, the pup. It's a full dress, actually. Actually, it's quite long. It almost goes down to my ankles. Jesse! Because, Jesse, I forgot that we moved the date, and I watched it yesterday. I am gonna put it on as background as I finish making and then have dinner to refresh, because normally I see it the same day that we record. It's your fault for moving the day, you big movie producer lady. Bleh. Consider my last super chat donation apology for my nuke of a question in the Discord. You don't have to apologize, Coyote, but I always appreciate the super chats regardless. I do need to wrap it up. Have you ever seen Blake 7? Nope. Worst episodes ever. 1, Idiot's Lantern. 2, Kill the Moon. I don't dislike Kill the Moon nearly as much as other people do. It's not good. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I don't knock it nearly as much as other folks do. Your opinion, where did Rassilon go? Again, I'm a bad person to ask for speculation. I will never have a good answer. My sure didn't hit the right note for you, but did strike a chord that got on your nerves, but at least things go better. One could say rest. New Doctor Who will strike a new melody. Generation Productions. Go in the corner, think about what you just did. All right, I need to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. So, stuff coming up. I will be streaming on Twitch tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. I'll be playing more of Hades 2. I will also have a video out probably tomorrow, which is a trailer reaction to the trailer for the upcoming second season of House of the Dragon. I can remember things. And what else? I think probably Thursday I'll have the review out for the finale for X-Men 97. I think that'll and then Friday will probably be more Hades 2 on Twitch. And then Saturday's video will be about the financial reality of trying to make a living as a YouTuber. That's a long video because there's interview portions with it. So that's what is coming up. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Drink your water and be well, be safe, and be kind. And just remember that you are beautiful, you are valid, and you are loved. You are the council, and I am just running the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned. McCavity!